welcome. As some of you know, I was homeschooled and have been homeschooled my entire life. And if you've been around for a little while and you've seen some of my other videos, you'll know that I've done some videos talking about like reactions homeschoolers get and some of the questions that homeschoolers ask. And so today we are talking about homeschooling once again because it has been a pretty big part of my life. And today is the 6 things I love about homeschooling. So the first thing is honestly the most important probably, which is like my personal favorite, and it's sleeping in. I am a night owl, and so I do stay up very, very late sometimes, and I get to sleep in pretty much as I pretty much only get to sleep until 11, but that's because my mom doesn't want me up that early. And generally functioning in society works better if you at least get up at 11. But yeah, so my personal favorite is sleeping in, and that would be number 1. So number 2 is more freedom, and I get a lot of freedom being homeschooled. I get to travel, I don't have a dress code, and I can pretty much get my schoolwork done whenever I need to, and I get to kind of self-direct and choose sort of what to learn. Like there are some things that like, you know, you have to learn, like math and English and a bit of history and science, but mostly I can sort of choose what I like and what I tend to be better at, and I can, you know, there's a lot of freedom for what I want to learn, and that's very nice. And like with homeschooling, at least like in Texas, you can use things like dance classes that you take as PE credits and things like that, and it can be super fun if you choose to make it that way. Number 3 is being able to learn at my own rate or my own pace and learning about the things I am interested in. So I sort of mentioned this before, but like some of the things that you can do for homeschooling is, you know, you could take a dance class and count that as PE credit. A lot of my friends, when they were little, they would go outside into their backyards and like learn just how, you know, the pond in the backyard worked, or like learned the parts of a fish when they went fishing in the pond in the backyard, and like learned how to garden. And so they learned a lot of things just by going outside and just playing and learning that way. And that's one thing that's really nice about homeschooling, is sometimes you can just go play and that counts as learning. So that's really nice. And then also you can learn at your own rate. Like I had a bit of trouble reading as a kid, and I kind of thought I was stupid sometimes, but it turns out that it was more of a dyslexia thing than anything else, so it became less intimidating knowing that, and I was able to learn at my own rate and learn in ways that were a lot easier for me in absorbing the information rather than like textbook, like classroom, every kid has to learn the exact same way, and if they don't, they're stupid sort of a thing. And like it was a lot less stressful on me not being in public school than if I had been in public school and had to deal with a lot of the drama that stuff would have caused. So number 4 is the community and friends. Now I grew up with a homeschool group, and our group has had, I believe at some points we've had up to at least 100 families, if not more like 200, as the group sort of grows. And I started that group when I was very little, so I've always had lots of friends, and I was able to choose those specific friends because of similar interests and values, rather than, you know, the first person I talked to on the first day of school became my best friend, and we had just always hung out together because we didn't know anyone else, sort of a thing. So that's one thing that I particularly like about homeschooling, and like the actual socialization skills that I do learn in getting along and being able to hang out with anyone from adults to kids and all ages in between. The one thing that I really do like about the homeschool community is that a lot of times there are little kids and little siblings, and so all the teenagers just sort of look out for all the little kids, and whether or not it's one of your little siblings or a friend's little sibling or some random stranger's like small sibling that you don't know, if like one child like gets hurt, or if one is like running around and possibly doing something that could injure them, or just get them in trouble in general, a lot of times you're able to, anyone doesn't really mind just stepping in and going, hey bud, you probably shouldn't do that, or oh my gosh, are you okay, where's your mommy, kind of a thing. And we just all sort of look out for the younger kids, and I think that's really sweet and really something that you don't see in public school or see in a lot of places. And it's really nice that like everyone looks out for each other, and like all the little kids and stuff. So, and I think that's just super adorable. Number 5 is the confidence I have because of it. A lot of times in school there is a lot of peer pressure, and teachers and other people will really just beat out of you sort of the uniqueness that you have and the imagination that you can have. And I like to just sort of call this one, like, I have a specific style, and I probably wouldn't have that style if I had gone to public school, just because of like the peer pressure and the teachers and the bullies that are there. So because I have been homeschooled, I have the confidence to be myself, and I've never really particularly worried about what others thought of me. And if someone did have a problem with like something that I like say I wore and they didn't like it or whatever, if they told me, I most of the time blew it off, because it didn't happen that often. And a lot of times the homeschool community can be extremely supportive, and they like it when you are unique, and that's something that I really enjoy, and I'm glad that I have the confidence to be able to go out and just be me and do the things that I want to do. And I don't think I would have had that necessarily. I might have if I had gone to public school, but because I am homeschooled, it makes me just a little bit extra weird, and that's nice. I like it. And then number 6 is the love of learning that I have. And I mean, that's been one of my mom's biggest goals in homeschooling me and my little brother, and it has most definitely worked. I don't particularly learn like everyone else. There are, I'm sure, other people who learn like me, but I still love learning, and I know how to learn and can learn on my own thanks to being homeschooled. And I don't see it in a negative light like so many public school kids, who learning has just been, studying for a test, or just to make sure that they can get a grade, and that's what learning is. Or the teachers will only teach for the test and not necessarily teach to make things fun and interesting. And that's honestly kind of sad, because there should be a much bigger love of learning, and that's one thing that a lot of people miss out on in public school, I think. Those have been the 6 reasons I love homeschooling. So if you have any reasons that I haven't said, but like, what are the reasons that you love homeschooling if you are homeschooled? Or what are some things that if you aren't homeschooled that you would like to know about being homeschooled? I would love to answer those questions for anyone who isn't homeschooled. One last thing before I go. So I've just started working with a website called Original Path. Now the 3 main goals for Original Path are free online content, so they want to provide that. Number 2 is they want to create a learning focused peer subculture. Now that is a lot to say, and that's definitely can be that's kind of hard to understand. So basically what that is they want to create both an online community and a in-person community of like homeschoolers or alternative education people who are want to create a community. They want to, make friends and just, have some fun hanging out with other teenagers. So that's what number 2 is. And then number 3, their third goal, is they want to provide knowledge of how to transition from a phase of when learning is primary to being a successful adult. So those are really the 3 things that Original Path is trying to accomplish. So the idea is that there are millions of teens who are not currently happy with school, but who don't have local alternatives. So we are seeking to provide a community as well as providing concrete alternative paths, whether that's college or entrepreneur, apprenticeship, places, and creative careers. Ideally, we would steadily provide more resources, network, and community, so almost any motivated teen could craft a wonderful future for themselves. So that's sort of what Original Path is all about. I will go ahead and link that down in the description below if you are a homeschooler and you want to check it out. Go ahead. I would love to see you guys there. I've just started working with them as of pretty much yesterday, so I wanted to go ahead and make a video just talking about homeschooling and talking about Original Path. So this should be a new adventure for all of us. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. We'd love to have you over there. Until next time, have a great adventure today, and don't let your lights go out. Bye guys.